Oh, that's right now. Okay, hi. Woo!
Woo!
Yay.
Someone laugh. I'm just tooting my own horn apparently tonight. It's okay. We tried to do something. I'm really good at trying. Not afraid to make risks, not afraid to make the mistakes and fail a lot. So it's okay. I'm used to it ish. Trying to get used to it. It's still, kind of because you want to look good. I might be frozen right now. Like that might have been my face a second ago. I don't know what's happening. I've been trying really hard to get a better connection. I went to the wilderness, spent a lot of time out there, but then I had to come back. I'm gonna be funny. I promise. I'll be funny. Jokes. Okay. Thank you.
You got this.
I know I was talking so fast there was no room to laugh, but wow, what a ride. For all the agists out there, I'm in the middle of my happies. I'm happy, age old. Not funny either. Okay. Any Chiefs fans? Y'all ready for football?
Oh boy.
Chiefs fans out there? Yeah? Cool. I'm a 69er fan myself. Yeah. If you're not a 69er fan, I think that maybe you're just lazy. Thank you. I did figure out why 666 is such a bad, awful number. You didn't know? One time you give a 6 and then no 9. Kind of not so good, right? Not so okay. So you're like, I'll give it another go. 2 times a charm. And then no 6. So then you're like kind of gullible and sweet and kind. So you try for the 3rd time and then it's relatable, right? Any other givers in the house? Anyone else giving everything they got? Oh yeah. I do have some dry humor. I apologize. It's just how I like my sex, though.
Oh God.
It's dry. With some thick burns.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh.
Yeah. Some of these I haven't told in a while. I wanted to give you guys some fresh stuff they haven't heard. My name's Brooke. I spell it with an E, but sometimes I'll spell it wrong. And then I'm broke. Not good. I prefer to have at least 69 O's. I know that's a lot. So am I. Got Pierre tattooed on this wrist over here. And holy on my right. Got him 6 months before I got kicked out of ministry school for not being pure nor holy. They're not fans of fornicating, I guess. Not with Matthew and Mark and Luke and John and James and Peter and Paul. There's like 2 Peters and like 6 Pauls. A couple Johns. A Mary. Muhammad. Joaquin. Y Jesus. See? Duh. I was just spreading the word. Spreaded it too much, that's all. It's a little too much. It's a little too much. Too sensitive. Fuck you. It's okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, it's 2020. Everything's just fine.
Yeah, fine.
It's hard though because I have to wear a mask and like my looks was how I was getting away with half of the shit I do in public. No one's been picking up my bill at the gas stations. I mean, I don't blame them. Like, just a sweet smile, Like, not even any dental work besides the cleanings. It's a weird way to move a mouth. You're welcome. But That came from 7 years of cheerleading, learning how to be aggressive, and the 2-finger smile. Yeah. Yeah. They taught me that the first week. The first week I was a cheerleader, I was 12 or 13. I didn't even know my mouth was capable of such feats. Feet. Who's into feet? I was thinking that I was so weird, you know. I'm like, Brooke, you know, you're so unique. You're so special. You know, there's no one like you. And then I realized there's a lot of weirdos out there. Like, wow. Just wait, you're going to hear from a couple of them today. But it's the weirdos that we need, I think. The weirdos that we need to fix this, maybe. Keep it light. Keep it light. Don't go too deep. Because ow. Okay, page 2. I came from a family of hecklers. They couldn't help it. They were alcoholics. I can help it though. Can I? Yeah, I think not all the time. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up so that my other comedians can take a stab at this fun thing that we're doing here. Just if you wanted to follow me on the internet, I'm at Brooke Makes Fun, at Brooke Makes Fun on Instagram, or at Brooke Makes Cum on OnlyFans. I know that's really disgusting. Yay, it's Contagious, the stay home comedy show. I believe that joy is contagious. So hope that's what you got out of that. My name's Brooke. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I'm from the back line, and I've got an awesome show for us. Yay! I'll let you clap. Cool. I'm excited. Our first comedian comes from the UK. Yeah, really excited. We met because of this whole like meltdown that our world is going through, and then there's no time and space. It's just like an interdimensional thing that we can have her on the same stage and you get to watch. It's amazing. Please put your hands together. Help me welcome to your screen the very funny Lauren Grant.
Woo!
Hey. Hey. Hey there, Nick. Good to see you. I see you there. John, and you. Rachel, hey girl, glad you made it. Now, Nick, John, and Rachel, my apologies. You're not going crazy. No, none of you know me, and I don't know any of you. I'm just literally trying to create an ambience here, my darlings. So I'm going to ask you to please work with me if you don't mind. I know it must be strange for some of you, okay, hearing this voice coming out of this face, but I'm going to ask you to all hunker down because I'm you, okay? I'm not much different to your American blacks, okay? We tend to weather the same storms, face similar yet manage, similar obstacles, sorry, yet we do manage to come out of it with poise, dignity, and the glowing skin of a 5-year-old. So, hi there. Now, aside from the obvious accent difference, there are a few more differences that I'm aware of. And knowing that I was going to be visiting the US in this virtual manner, I decided that, you know what, I'll scour the internet, that's Google, and come up with a couple of these differences. Now, the first one I came up with is this. Where the fuck you all been hiding these Karens? Now, I mean this because clearly there seems to be a new explosion of these Karens. And what I'm wondering to myself is Black people are not a new phenomenon in the US, right? No. I mean, surely they've been there doing more or less the same kind of thing for the last few hundred years. Yet I keep seeing videos of Karens blocking Black people from access to their own homes. And it baffles me, basically. Okay. Now, I'm not going to deny that we in the UK, of course, we've got our fair share of racists and bigots over here, okay? In all honesty, this is where the majority of them originated from. But I'm yet to see one righteously demand that I produce my passport or some form of ID before I'm allowed to enter my own home. So that's a difference and a question that I needed to ask, because it's got me thinking this 2020 is something real. It really is. It's something different. The second difference that I just want to highlight, and this might be a little bit uncomfortable for some of you, but it needs to be said, and that is the unfiltered use of the N-word over there in the US. It is a bit tricky, but personally, I actually love the way that Black Americans have reclaimed it. They currently use it as a noun, an adjective, oftentimes an expletive, and various other forms. And I would actually like to be able to partake. But unfortunately, sadly, with this accent, it has a slightly different sound to it. Kind of sounds a bit like bygone days, you know, with slightly different connotations. There's something about the British accent that can turn a nigger, please, into a come on nigger, hop to it. So unfortunately, that one's off bounds for me. I can't use it. So yeah, this might be a little bit uncomfortable, but don't worry, it's going to get easier from here, I promise you. Okay, just bear with me. So here I am at 54 years old, doing this Zoom thing most nights. Yes, I did say 54. Now, that's definitely not old, no, but it's also not young, right? I would say that I'm a little like that chicken that you bought last week. It's only got one day left before it expires, but you know what? You still open it because you're daring like that. And it smells a little bit, yeah, right? But nothing that you don't think a little lemon juice might sort out. So you cook it anyway, and then you go to sleep on a silent prayer. And when you wake up in the morning, you find yourself singing a little song. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. That's right. You praise Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Well, I'm that kind of old. I'm nearer the end than the beginning, but I'm still edible and quite fresh. So that's me, Lauren Grant, female comedian, okay? And as a female comedian, it's often expected nowadays that I'm either going to talk about sex or my lady parts, okay? But at 54 years old, my lady parts have taken on a whole new characteristic. And that character would be best described as either, I don't know, dangling parts or spare parts even, but lady parts. No, that's a bit of a stretch, okay? So instead of talking about sex or lady parts, what I am going to talk about is something that has more meaning to me. And that, my friends, is mobile phone, that's cell phones to you guys, mobile phone ringtones, okay? Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but on your phone, you've got a long bloody list of choices that they give you, okay? Now, these choices will make you feel like you've actually got a real choice. Yet, listen closely, and you'll notice that each tone is actually not that different from the other, okay? Different enough to confuse, though. And there's a reason why I say that. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just stick a pin in that thought. I'm going to come back to that. But first, I want to tell you a story. I've got a lot of time. Brooke's given me a lot of time. So as I said, hunker down. Right now, it was a Saturday afternoon a couple of years ago, and I was sitting around. I didn't have a lot to do. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to pop over and see one of my sisters. So I get to her house and find her sat in her kitchen, wailing and crying. My cooker's broken down, she said. My cooker's broken down. I've only had it 2 years. I don't know what we're going to do. Now, I rolled my eyes for a reason, because this wasn't a surprise to me. This particular sister, you see, is a bit of a lazy bitch, and she rarely tends to clean her fucking appliances. Therefore, they will kindly give her around 2 years of their time before they check out, say adios, farewell, fuck you, missus. But as I said, this was my sister. And of course, I wanted to show some solidarity. So I led with the following. Right, love, get your coat. Where did you buy it? Is it still under guarantee? No, of course not. Come on anyway, come on, let's get down there. We're going to go and give them a piece of our minds. She, however, decided on this particular day that she wasn't going to play along with me. She wasn't going to play along with what we both recognize as a familiar game of make-believe that you do for those that you love. So she just said, no, that's it. I don't want to. I want to get myself a new one. That's it. Come with me to Curry's and help me pick out a new one. Well, as I did tell you before, it was a Saturday afternoon. I didn't have any plans. So I said, all right. And off we went to Curry's with my niece in tow, by the way, who is only 21 with all her lady parts intact. So we get to Curry's, and for those of you from the US, Curry's is a bit like, I'd say your Home Depot. Anyway, we get there and my sister finds the cooker of her dreams. This one is going to last a lifetime for some reason. I don't know why. Either it was self-cleaning or possibly came with a maid. Who knows? So whilst my sister's there, busy doing this deal, my niece turns to me, bored with the whole business of cooker finding, and says to me, Aunt, come with me to the back of the store. That's where they keep all the really nice stuff. So, you know, I thought, okay, at 21, she's still in that stage of dream shopping for the dream house that she intends to live in with the dream husband once she's had the dream wedding. Well, I'm not one to trample on a kid's dreams, so I said, okay, and went with her to the back of the shop. To my surprise, she was actually right. There were some of the most amazing appliances I've ever seen. And in particular, there was this huge glass double-fronted fridge. I don't know if any of you have seen those glass fridges, but let me tell you something, they're pretty amazing, smell like money. This fridge was sat there all sexy and sparkling with like beautiful clear blue, it's kind of like a bluey greeny glass, tinted doors. Now there was nothing else on these doors apart from this iPad looking thingy at the top. And I say iPad looking thingy because it had all these apps all over it. Well, me being me, I've reached up, pressed one of the apps, it's opened up and it says, ideas for weekly recipes. It then went on to list Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you get my drift. You then have to choose a meal for each day of the week. Monday, roast chicken, Tuesday, fried chicken, Wednesday, I don't know, jerk chicken, you get my drift. I basically warned you all, us black Brits are not really that much different from your blacks over there. We all know what to do with a nice bit of chicken. Anywho's, it then works out the ingredients needed for each recipe, sends the whole bloody lot over to another list. You then have to press this button, bloop, and the whole list takes itself off to Sainsbury's. Sorry, that's Walmart for you Americans.
Okay.
That's it. Shopping done. Couldn't believe it. So I'm stood there looking at this fridge in amazement when I hear this sound. So, of course, being polite, I leaned in and said, sorry. I realised it was my phone ringing in my bag, wasn't it? I'd forgotten that I changed the ringtone the week before. Now, my poor little niece fell to the floor, sprung up again on those lovely little 21-year-old legs that she's got, and shot like a fucking panther to the other side of the store, to announce to anyone that would listen that her aunt was over in the corner talking to fridges. Now, there are two morals to that story. The first one being, don't change your ringtones. Honestly, it's just not worth it. And the last one being that once you get to the 50-ish mark, technology can become a real bitch. Well, that's me, Lauren Grant, sharing my story. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for listening, and thanks very much.
Give it up for Lauren G. Yeah. On the live feed, it should show her Instagram so you can follow her, send her money, all that fun stuff.
Oh yeah, send money.
Weird, but Lauren, are you in relation with the lovely Hugh Grant? I know of a Hugh Grant from the UK. Maybe is he in relation to you, perhaps?
Listen, every Grant that's famous has got something to do with me. Eddie Grant would probably be more.
Oh, how delightful. I will be flying to see you very soon. Thank you so much. Everyone, please put your hands together one more time for Lauren Grant.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome. That was delightful. Our next comedian certified bro. He calls me bro. Okay. I don't think he can help it. I'm pretty sure he's like from the New Jersey kind of area. He's like, yeah. It's awesome though. Such good vibes. First time that we met, it was just like, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha, ha. And now it's like 69, ha ha, 69, ha ha. And there's, you know, if you know me, it's normal. I'm not being inappropriate at all. Everybody, please put your hands together. Help me welcome to the screen, John Brecco.
Woo! What's up, guys? How we doing?
Woo!
Yeah. Give it up for your 69 queen, Brooke. Give it up. Listen, Brooke makes so many 69 puns and innuendos. When we talked about food one time, she asked me what my favorite nut was. I instinctively said, I don't know, the kind you bust in somebody, because I couldn't think of shit else because of her. First thing I thought of. Shout out to Lauren. Give it up for her, too, really quick.
Oh, thank you.
She said she was 54. I'm like, girl, be quiet. 26, all right? If you lived in the U.S., you look like you just got health care, okay? Don't start. But I want to address something that came up in the chat really quick, and it's that the dollar store in Britain is called Poundland. Whoever the fuck made that up is my hero. I just want to get that off my chest right now. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me. It's fine either way. I thought it was beautiful. Thanks, Lauren. She gave me the thumbs up. That's all I really need. But anyways, a little bit about me to start off. I recently got glasses. I just recently got them. I didn't wear them now because they make me look like Clark Kent with a little extra Down syndrome.
Oh.
I've been doing comedy, though, for a little bit over 2.5 years now. I didn't think I'd be able to do it at first, but I had a lot of help, a lot of support, a lot of encouragement. And now I don't think I can do shit else. So thanks a lot, motherfuckers. But a lot of comics like to share where you can follow them at the end of their sets. I figure, I'll get this out of the way now. If anybody wants to follow me, I really don't have much of an ass, so there's really nothing for you to look at. Look, guys, my ass is so flat, if I made it clap in a club somewhere, you could hear a pin drop. Honestly, I feel like if somebody were to say they want my ass, they'd be window shopping because they want something they can't have. You know what I mean? I really just want to get into an argument with one day just so I can storm off in a huff so the other person can just yell at me and say, hey, boy, get your flat ass back here. It's gotten to the point where I can't even take a compliment on my ass, okay? Because I feel like if you think my ass is round, you probably believe the earth is flat too. But we've been going through a lot, being cooped up for an insane amount of time. Honestly, quarantine has lasted so long, I finally understand why it was so important for Harold and Kumar to go to White Castle. finally makes sense to me. Look, quarantine has lasted so long, going to the grocery store for milk feels like a fucking cross-country road trip, okay? And look, it's 2020. You could probably get a participation trophy if you just look outside your window during the day. But, that being said, many people are trying to get their lives back to normal or trying to live as normal as they can. They've been doing that with comedy too. We've had to do these shows for so long. And I just want to say, after telling those ass jokes, I got upset after a while because I'm the only one on Zoom that has to wear pants, okay? I can't be caught without that after those jokes. But, a lot of them have moved outside. A lot of them are getting done on patios and everything. And the thing with outside, there's a lot more shit that you have to watch out for. I saw this one comic. There was a train that passed by in the middle of her set. I've seen, sets get heckled by side conversations. I've seen them get heckled by dumb comments. I've never seen anyone run a train on a comic in the middle of their set. I was gonna say, if Brooke doesn't laugh at that, I just quit life. But sports are trying to get back to normal as well. They got all these cardboard cutouts. They got the automated cheering, which I think makes them look really fucking insecure, but it's fine. I think everybody feels that way right now. But I just want to say, if you've been a baseball fan or you've become one in the last 40 years, this is not normal because you've never heard that much cheering in your fucking life. I have never heard that much cheering in baseball before. Lauren looks confused. I'm sorry. She's just the first face I saw during that whole joke. But, but I've had a lot of that I can count my blessings for. I recently was accepted into fire school, which I'm very excited to go to. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Cool.
But a little bit how I got into that, I started off wanting to do radio, met a bunch of comedians, decided I wanted to do comedy. Started doing comedy, decided I wanted to jump into a fire. The only bad thing about that is that I'm going to have to shave this when I go. I was very upset when I found this out. When I have this beard, I look my age. When I don't have it, I look like an 8-year-old about to dance to the John Cena theme song, okay? Look about 20 years younger. I'm 25. That's not good. But the only good thing about shaving this is that, when I wear the mask, it gets everywhere when it really gets long, like in the mouth, down the neck. It's awful. And it comes down the sides too. It makes me look like a big ass hobbit when I walk out of work. I don't walk out of there feeling like Bilbo Swaggins either. It's fucked up. But I will say, people used to say a lot of interesting shit when it comes to my beard. The only thing that I don't like being told is that I look Amish. It's not because it's not true. You just don't want to hear the same shit 1,000 times. You want to hear something different. I need somebody to call me a fat ass Lord Farquaad from Shrek, okay? That's what I need in my life. If I put my hair like this, you can call me Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, just also fat. I know you can only see me from the neck up, but the munchies went where they were supposed to go. I got the body of Patrick Starr in this motherfucker, okay? And look, I'm Italian, so I probably eat more lasagna than Garfield himself. Although I think the best thing that I ever heard was being told that I look like Mufasa from The Lion King. You don't give a fuck about my comedy career, but thanks, Mom. I really got to get in shape, though, if I'm going to go. I've really got to get in shape. Guys, I'm honestly so fat. When I see somebody with a widow's peak haircut, I think of the McDonald's symbol. Who likes sports over here? Just really quick. All right, no one's going to give a shit about this joke then. Guys, I'm so fat. When I see Patrick Mahomes play football, I think of the Hawaiian Punch Kid. That's exactly what I expected for that. Guys, I'm honestly so fat, if they put me in the Hunger Games, they call me Fatness Everdeen. All right. I did have that took Brooke a second. But I actually do know a comic who lost 200 pounds, and I thought that was amazing. That was beautiful, all that. Because normally when I talk to comics, every time they talk about losing 200 pounds, man or woman, you find out it was just a fucking divorce. Somebody literally just said divorce is so expensive. That was so perfectly timed. I loved it. But I do like to tell the story about fire school because it does work for a laugh. But I recently got a job in the profession I always wanted. It's a radio station over at PA, WBCB Radio, which made me very happy. So I really don't care that my career as a potential fireman has gone up in smoke. Some people get offended at that joke, but that's okay because I'm happy. So my comedy career is probably going up in smoke too. But the thing is, when you go and try to look for a different job, try to find your calling, it can be very depressing. I got so desperate at one point that somebody actually suggested that I should be a personal trainer, okay? It got to that point. The only gym I look like I frequent anywhere is Planet Fitness, okay? I look like I frequent anywhere with the free pizza Friday, all right? I like to call it Planet Shitness because of the free pizza and Coke. Honestly, Coke runs through me so fast, I just tell people I'm lactose Coke intolerant. I was honestly wondering how that joke was gonna go, but I really didn't give a shit. Just that one. But like I said, there's a lot I can count my blessings for right now. We actually did get a kiddie pool outside, me and my girlfriend, and it's very relaxing. Honestly, I relaxed in it before, and I almost did the show from there. I almost showed my washboard rolls to everybody in here. It's not something anybody needed to see, honestly. Like, if you put me in a pasta dish, like, I'd be the little meatball of it because I'm so fat, okay? I got an hourglass body like Shakira, but my hips lied to everybody. But I watched Hamilton recently, and the thing with Hamilton is there's this one scene where Alexander Hamilton, he makes fun of John Adams, and it keeps me from going to the gym. This is why. He makes fun of him, and I get up to go, and I hear the line just go, "Sit down, John, you fat motherfucker." Like magic.
Wow.
Somebody's like so mind blown, like, imagination. But I do want to make sure I go to the time Brooks said because there's another show after this. So I'm going to wrap it up with the story really quick. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a guy selling apples, right? He was selling them for about $5. Another guy comes over. He says, "Why are your apples so expensive?" So the guy tells him, "Because they taste like pussy." So Brooks already ready for this one. So the guy takes a bite out of the apple, bites into it, decides he doesn't like it. Oh, it tastes like shit. Because you got to turn that shit around, motherfucker. I want to add this one last part in, and this makes me happy that I don't have to go to fire school because I have an irrational fear of heights. But what I decided I was going to do, and this is if I was going to go, I decided I was going to treat it like period sex. Just don't look down. Are we really going to make me go out on nothing? I was going to say, if Brooke didn't laugh at that, I was just going to be sad. But, I do want to give some time back to the room. So my Instagram is John A. Brecco 395. I'll put it in the chat if anybody wants to follow me. Thank you, Brooke, for letting us do this. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Woo! Put your hands together for John and his flat butt. Ha 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 ha.
Woo!
I could show you mine, but I'm not gonna. I have my Babes in Joyland show. It's in real life, and we stream it, and you could watch it, and it shows all of me. So I don't need to preview the cow. I don't know. I don't know. I'm doing fine. We're all fine. John, he does an open mic on Thursdays. He does a show. He does an Instagram show. He's like, he'll be your biggest fan. So follow John, and let's give him another round of applause. Best of luck in firefighter school.
Mhm.
Woo. I'm sure lots of people will like having you come and put out the fire. Very cool.
I'll just
All
flop it.
right. How you doing? You guys good? You good? You good? You ready? You ready? Are you ready? Woo! We got one more, and she's fabulous. Jeez Louise. She started a mic, and she made it so clever. It's called the Panda mic, but it's spelled like pandemic. And then she made the microphone look like it had the coronavirus, which is why we're staying home and having a Contagious of Joy show instead. If you're not in the Panda mic group, join it. The open mics are fun. She did one when they all had to dress up, and I think that's like an every week thing, and like just lots of cool things just keep happening. Good person to just, well, obviously you're gonna see because she's really cool to look at too. And this is hard to believe. Yeah, beautiful, funny. Whoa, oh man, and like getting the stuff done, like just making things like clockwork. Oh, but don't worry, she's married. I know. Yeah, you can just enjoy her and not get creepy. It's great. All right, everybody, please put your hands together. Help me welcome to the screen the so funny Rachel Rothenberg.
Hello. Yes, hello. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Do you guys ever think about that word gentleman, though? Like a gentleman? Nowadays, we just call a man like that a cuck. Good afternoon, females and cucks. Okay. My name is Rachel Rothenberg. I'm a very pedantic person. I'm so pedantic that my pronouns are whom and whomst. I identify as a lady, but in the way that you scream it in traffic, you know? Like, get out of the way, lady. Watch where you're going, lady. Hey, go fuck yourself, lady. Lady, right? I'm very into period clothing, which is to say that I love to free bleed in vintage dresses. Yeah, that joke is 100% true. I'm not a strong woman though. Like, you know, I've always been a person who, like, I had to have special accommodations made for me in gym class because I couldn't do a single push-up because my elbows bent backwards, right? You know, I've never been a strong woman. But I've always been a loose woman, you know. I always had like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, so my joints would fall out of the sockets and my elbows would pop out and my mom would have to stick me back together. You know, she was always like, oh, you're such a loose woman, you know. But as a loose woman, I've developed into an adult female klutz. And the thing about that is that I end up injuring myself in ways that are externally visible. And, you know, like, for example, I'll always have like strange bruises or weird scratches or like, you know, black eyes that are difficult to explain. Like one time I gave myself a black eye with a bar of soap, you know, because it was like firmly on the edge of my bathtub. And I was like pulling and pulling and pulling on it and it popped off. And it hit me in the eye. And like, you know, I go out in public with these visible injuries and people are always like, who did this to you? You know, like what man did this to you? And I'm always like, you sexist piece of shit. You think I couldn't have done this to myself? Okay. Besides, I don't hang out with men who beat me except at things like chess and Scrabble.
I like that.
But you know, I always say there are two types of women in this world, right? You know, women who are me and women who aren't me. And that's not me bragging. That's just an ontological fact. Okay. A fact of being. Only I can be myself. Okay, that's kind of a vocabulary joke. And the fact that I even wrote that got me wondering, you know, why isn't there a society for lady geniuses called Mency, right? I wonder about a lot of lady things, like if there's an after party at a women's health conference, is it BYOBGYN? I don't know. If I go to an orthodonto gynecologist to get my crooked vagina fixed, will he prescribe me panty aligners? No? If my cat gets pregnant with a single kitten, but she isn't ready to be a mom, do I have to take her to the vet for 9 abortions?
Oh my God.
Worse yet, if my cat's career is just taking off and she gets pregnant with 6, do I have to take her in for 54 abortions? Oh my God. But I don't, because like any responsible pet owner, when I first got my cat, I took her to the vet to get an IUD. Okay. That's what you should do. I myself have an IUD, which is a good thing because I turned 29 this year and I've been wanting to spend more time with babies, you know, like fresh babies, like new babies, like I'm wanting to deliver babies. Okay. And I realized that what's happening to me is that I'm having a midwife crisis. But I do worry that like if I you know, if I did have a kid, like I kind of feel about babies the way that I feel about breakfast. Okay. Like, you know, I'm 29 years old. I feel like the pressure is on me. Like everybody's like, you know, starting to do it. Everybody's starting to have kids and they're, you know, like my thumbs are tired from courtesy liking people's babies on Instagram. You know, it's like a whole thing. And everybody's like bugging me about it. And like, I feel like it's like breakfast in the sense that everybody's like, you know, oh, in your life, it's like 11 a.m. and you have to order something by 11:30 because apparently after 11:30, the eggs are cold or some shit. Oh my God. It's so stressful. I don't know. It's a lot of pressure. I don't like breakfast. But I also worry that if I had a kid, I might want to eat my kid, you know, like because I experience, let me just explain this. Okay. I experience cute aggression, right? Like very, very strongly. And I hear that it's worse when you have a kid than it is when you have a pet. And I have 2 cats and I'm absolutely obsessed with them. You know, I look at them and I just want to hug them and squeeze them and squish them and smash them and like grind them into a fine paste and then slather my body with the paste and then lick it off myself and then swallow it down and become them, you know, cute aggression, right? That joke is fucked up because I'm like eating my pets, but I would sooner eat a person than a cat, not because I would never eat a cat, but just because I'm extremely curious about person, you know. If I ever die in such a way that my meat remains viable, I'm going to donate my body to science, which is to say culinary science. Very well marbled. But anyway, I am a heterosexual, as Brooke mentioned, but only because I can't be the weird one in my comedic double act without a straight man. Comedy joke. Okay. But I got married a month ago yesterday. Yeah, so yeah, I've been married for a whole month. Wow, go me. I've done it. But we had to cancel our wedding due to COVID, you know, and we had to like elope and do this whole thing. But like, we really should have stuck to our original plan of, you know, we got engaged in April of last year and we did discuss getting married on 9/11 of last year, but we decided that it was just too soon. I had to today, you know, I side note, while I'm on the subject of 9/11, I do think it's really sad that this country has gotten so PC that we can't say Merry 9/11 anymore. Anyway, back to marriage. Okay, so yes, I always see straight women on social media saying like, oh, I'm so lucky to be married to my best friend. And I'm always like, damn, way to friend zone your husband. Talk about a power move. My husband does know me well, though. You know, just the other day, he dropped a casual remark into a conversation about my nightmares. And I was like, my nightmares? What are you talking about? And he was like, you know, the nightmares you're always describing to me. You know, like the one where you walk out of the first house you ever lived in and you tread upon the corpses of 1 million dead birds. Or the one where you're pulling clogs of hair out of your throat like clogs from a drain. Or the one where you're shitting an entire chicken, you know, feathers and all, and you're having to extract the beak and the legs from your asshole. You know, your nightmares. And I said, oh, those? I just call those my dreams. But yeah. My husband, though, he thinks our apartment is haunted because our bedroom smells like perfume every night between the hours of 1:30 and 3:30 a.m. And he keeps asking me, do you know anything about this? This is really spooky. And I'm like, of course I know about this. That's when I fart.
Oh,
That joke is fictional because I can't really fart. Let me explain. That's like my dream of what my farts are like, because I can't really do it because I have IBS. Okay, and I can't fart because I'm gonna shit myself. But you know, my IBS has me going through the same routine every morning, though. You know, I wake up and I'm sent into a panic attack by the pain of my intestines tying themselves in knots. And then, you know, I end up clogging my toilet and I have to unclog it using a pipe snake. And then in a moment of sheer body horror, I look down upon myself and I realize that I'm naked because that's how I tend to sleep and be at home. And then I have to smoke a bowl and cancel whatever plans I made for the day. And I call this routine the wake and ache and shake and quake and snake and nake and bake and flake.
oh God.
But you know, I mentioned smoking weed, and I do like smoking weed, but the problem with it is that it makes me autistic. And I don't say that derogatorily, not at all. I say that in the sense that it makes me literally experience symptoms of autism. Like I go to brush my teeth and it's just too stimulating and I can't handle the stimuli. And like I go to eat food and the food is too flavorful and I get overwhelmed and I just can't, I panic. And like normally when I'm sober, I can make a borderline neurotypical amount of eye contact, but when I'm high, it's completely hopeless. And you may be like, why would you still smoke it if it does these things to you, right? Like, why? You know, and the answer is that I use it for medical reasons. You know, I use it like a medicine, you know, like a vaccine. It makes me autistic. Yikes. Okay. But this isn't really so much a joke as it is just a thing that happened to me. When I do smoke weed, it does give me like weird synesthesia, to the point that the other night I had sex while I was high and I had an orgasm shaped like a cube.
What?
I don't know. But yeah, I feel this is my segue into my sex jokes that I have to do. I have to do them, guys. I don't have a choice. But you know, yeah, my favorite thing, this is my about having sex as a straight woman, though, is that the man usually like leaves something inside of you. You know, I just think that's so romantic, you know. And I thought of this as a joke premise when I was hacking up a pube over my bathroom sink.
Oh God.
My husband and I are both comedians, though, but he's mostly an improviser and I'm mostly a stand-up, which is to say that 1 minute before I come, I shine a flashlight in his eyes, and when he comes, he says, "And scene." Naturally, I used to be single. Back when I was single, I would sometimes encounter a man with a small dick, and I would find myself saying to him, "I just don't know if I have it in me."
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. This joke I dedicate to Brooke, though. Okay. This is just for her. But you know, I've taken up a new hobby recently, and that's handwriting analysis. And I was really surprised to learn that my handwriting strongly indicates that I would be into oral sex, both because of my large and consistent loops and because instead of writing using ink, I write exclusively using spit out cum. That joke is totally depraved, and you know, I have been diagnosing myself with various depravities while reading the BDSM-5 lately. You know, I looked upon an electric milk frothing latte whisk in my kitchen, and I thought about using it as a vibrator, and that's why I don't trust myself with a gun.
that's
The implication therein being that I might try to fuck a gun. I don't know. But ultimately, at the end of the day, what I'm into is normal consensual sex. You know, and as such, I don't have a safe word for sex, but I do have a safe paragraph. And, you know, I mentioned I'm way into words. I've told a lot of word jokes, you know. So the way that it works is when I'm having sex and it starts to go down some avenue that I decide I no longer enjoy, I say to my partner to completion, I henceforth revoke consent for intercourse, outer course, handercourse, mouthercourse, and uphold the revocation of consent for anal course, as well as the continuation of the unfashionable bans on analingus and all accompanying anus-related phalangeal acts upon me. Please withdraw yourself from whatever hole or holes you presently inhabit and cease all ejaculatory endeavors at once. Every time. I have to.
Wow.
And it usually works, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I'm almost out of time here, but I do live in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'm supposed to do clean comedy here, really. Like, the market is for clean comedy. If you want to get paid to do comedy, you're supposed to write clean. So I sit down to try to write clean jokes, and I sit down, you know, like on my toilet to do this, but whatever. And I end up accidentally writing the dirtiest jokes I've ever written in my life, right? So like, I sat down to try to write a cleaner joke, and the joke I ended up writing instead was, I hate getting fucked in the ass, but boy, do I love taking a shit out of my pussy.
What?
And that joke doesn't make sense, okay? I understand, but it's like the opposite thing. It's like the opposite of anal, okay? So it made sense in my mind, but I was like, maybe if I clean up this joke, I can tell it in Provo, Utah, right? Maybe. So I was like, okay, maybe if I make it a little more vague, you know, like, I hate getting bonked in the rear, but boy, do I love taking a dump out of my down there's. And that's worse. And I was like, maybe if I use a metaphor, you know, like, I hate getting banged in the butt, but boy, do I love pinching a loaf from my bread box.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
Maybe that's horrible too. I'm going to tell it in Yiddish, okay? I'm going to use my right as a Jew, and I'm going to try to tell this joke in Yiddish, and that'll make it okay. You know, like, I hate getting stuffed in the tuchus, but boy, do I love cocking out of my schmundi. And I can't tell any of those jokes, and yet I just told them all. Okay, I have one left. This is my, I'm going to end on this. You don't have to swallow 8 spiders a year in your sleep, but you will if you're a good little spider slut. Bye. Thank you, Brooke. Give it up for Brooke.
Yes. Yes, queen. Please put your hands together one more time for Rachel.
Woo!
She said no bug jokes, but there was a spider joke at the end that was fantastic. Little bug slut. That's fucking fun. We do this show every Friday about the same time. You can watch. Fantastic. Make sure you, if you saw their Venmo, you know, just send them $1 or send them 15 or, you know, all of it. You don't have to, but you can. Yeah, I'll see you again. Thank you so much.